the desert ruins. Mira wiped sweat from her forehead as the sun sank lower behind red dunes. The sky burned like fire, and the wind kicked up fine sand that stung her skin. She and her small team of explorers had been on this dry plain for 3 days, searching for anything left from the first age of spaceflight. Every rock looked the same. Every dune hid its secrets well. As the rover's metal detector began to scream, Mira felt her heart race. She dropped to one knee and brushed sand away with gloved fingers. A rounded hatch, half buried, gleamed dark, metal in the fading light. She tapped her radio. "Control, this is entry 2. We found something large. Coordinates are static," crackled back. "Copy that, entry 2, stay safe." Her team moved quickly. Jonas, the engineer, used his cutter tool to slice through brittle seals. Each spark chewed away at centuries of rust. Amira, the geologist, examined strange glyphs carved into the hatch rim. They did not match any known language. The wind rose. Sand whipped around them in a dusty torrent. Mira shivered, though her suit kept her cool. She gave the signal to pull off their helmets. Even under the storm, she needed to see. When Amira finally pried the hatch open, the inside of the ship lay dark and silent. A huge corridor sloped away, lit by faint, greenish strips along its walls. The air inside was stale, but not empty. Something pulsed deep within. Mira shone her flashlight down the aisle. "Stay close," she said softly. Her voice sounded loud. In the quiet, Jonas clicked on his helmet light, illuminating the smooth steel floor and the curved ceiling far above. "This design, it's unlike anything we've seen," he breathed. "Look at the scale." The corridor ended at a vast chamber. In its center, a sleek warship sat cradled in a metallic bay. Its black hull curved like a sleeping beast. Twin wings folded down at its sides, and cannon turrets rested along its length. Panels of glass lined the cockpit now, cracked and dark. Mira swallowed hard. "This is it," she said. "They always spoke of a lost warship, but nobody believed it truly existed." Amira knelt and traced one of the glyphs on the ship's side. "These symbols, they warn trespassers," she said. "We should be careful." Mira glanced back at the rover's open hatch. The sandstorm would bury them soon, cutting off any chance of help. Yet she felt her pulse quicken with excitement. This was the find of a lifetime. She climbed onto the ship's wing. Her boots made soft clunks on the metal. She pushed against the canopy. It moved with a creak, sliding back just enough for her to peer inside. The cockpit was covered in dust. Old panels glowed with a faint blue light. One console flickered. "Power," Jonas whispered from below. "There is still power here." Mira touched the console glass. It felt cool. A line of text ran across the screen in white. "Pilot identified." A known Negenus joined her. "It wants to know who is here." Mira straightened. "Let's give it an answer." She tapped the console with gloved fingers. The hatch to the bridge hissed and slid open. A rush of dusty air blew past them, carrying the scent of oil and metal. Inside, the bridge domed above them. Rows of empty seats faced a towering main control panel. Screens lined the walls, and a single red light blinked on one of them. The ship's AI was waking up. "Stand back," Jonas said. He tapped at his datapad, scanning signals. "The AI core is starting to interface. It will ask for a pilot." Mira's heart pounded in her chest. She stepped forward. "AI," she called in a clear voice. "I am Myra Kane. Exploration, Team 7. I volunteer as pilot." The lights in the bridge flickered. A low hum filled the air, vibrating through the metal floor. A calm male voice spoke from hidden speakers. Pilot protocol initiated. Identity verification pending. Mira held her breath. The AI paused, as if thinking. Then the voice boomed. Unrecognized pilot. Access level 0. Alarms wailed. Softly, red bars lit the walls. The crew backed away. It's defensive, Amira said. It thinks we are intruders. Jonas tapped buttons on the console. If we do not override soon, it will seal the hatch and power down. We'll lose. Power to the bay and be buried forever. Myra swallowed. She looked at her team. Each face glowed under helmet lights, eyes wide but determined. We can do this. Let me try manual override. With Jonas's help, she opened the AI maintenance panel beside the console. Wires wound in neat bundles. A blinking orange light indicated system standby. Jonas handed her a data drive. She plugged it into the port labeled override. The ship shuddered. Metal groaned. Panels lit up all around. The main screen flickered to life, and a holographic image appeared. A human figure in old-style pilot gear. The image looked stuck in time, with flickering edges and wavering light. The AI voice said, "Pilot credentials verified. Welcome, Commander Mira Kane." Mira stepped back, wide-eyed. "Commander me." The hologram nodded. "Your great-grandmother was the last commander of this vessel. Her DNA signature is embedded in the ship's core. You have inherited her command." Tears pricked Myra's eyes. She thought of her daughter waiting on the colony ship. She thought of the long years of study and training. All those sacrifices. This was why the AI continued. Command functions restored. Weapons systems locked. Awaiting orders. Outside, the sandstorm grew so fierce that the hatch began to shudder. Grains of sand pressed against the canopy like rain on glass. The bay's supports creaked under pressure. The ship's engines powered up with a low rumble dot. Jonas grabbed Myra's arm. "We must leave now, before the bay collapses." Myra nodded. AI set course for the nearest hangar bay. Transport crew to safety. The deck beneath them vibrated as hidden thrusters fired. The bay's walls slid open, revealing the storm-blurred desert beyond. The ship slowly lifted itself free, carrying Myra and her team away from the ruins. In the fading sunlight, the warship's black hull glowed against the red sky. It had slept for centuries. Now it awakened, and it took its first step toward the stars once more. The awakening mirror. Heart pounded as the warship floated above the desert storm. Inside the bridge, lights pulsed in rhythm, and the hum of power grew louder. The AI core glowed behind a glass panel, casting blue shadows across empty seats. The ship was alive and it spoke. From hidden speakers, a calm voice echoed. "Commander Mira Kane, state your orders." Myra swallowed hard. Her glove trembled on the control console. She had never commanded a ship before, let alone one built for war. Yet here she was, thousands of years after its builders fell silent. She steadied her voice. "AI, run full system diagnostics," she said. "Report status." The bridge lights dimmed, then rose again. Screens flickered to life, displaying system reports in quick succession. Weapons, dormant. Shields, offline. Engines, standby. Life support, active. All systems functional except weapons and shields. The AI replied, "Shall I initialize defense protocols?" Mira glanced at her team Jonas and Amira standing by the hatch. rifles at their sides. She nodded. Yes. Engage defense protocols. But do not arm weapons until hostile action occurs. A low click sounded, and panels slid along the walls, revealing hidden turrets. Each turret lowered into position, scanning the bridge with glowing lenses. The ship's hull rumbled as power flowed through sealed circuits. Outside, the base supports finally gave way. The massive doors groaned shut, severing the docking clamps. Sand blasted against the exterior, but the ship rose higher, free from its cradle. On the bridge viewport, the storm-racked desert stretched below, specks of black rocks and debris whirled in the wind. Dust hid the horizon. The warship floated, engines humming like a beast awakening. Myra took a steadying breath. AI, plot a course to the nearest human outpost. Course plotted, the AI answered. Time to arrival, 8 minutes. Jonas let out a breath. That was faster than I expected. Mira nodded. We need to get shields online before we reach them. She tapped controls. A shimmering field flickered before the viewport. Shields activated. The viewport rippled as an energy barrier formed around the ship. The storm's sand buffered against it, but could not break through. Mira felt relief flood her. Suddenly, alarms blared. Red lights flashed. The AI's voice sounded urgent, warning. Hostile signature detected multiple fighters approaching. Mira's pulse jumped. On screen, the main view screen zoomed out. Dozens of sleek attack craft emerged from the storm, black shapes darting through. Sand. They bore the insignia of a rival mining corporation, Roger Industries. They hunted salvage claims in uncharted space. Amira pressed her back to the wall. They want our ship. They'll try to strip it for parts. Mira gripped the console. AI stand down weapons, no arm turrets, and prepare to defend. I readied weapons, the AI confirmed. Authorization required. Mira hesitated. I authorize use of non-lethal force first. Disable their engines. A series of panels opened on the console, revealing targeting controls. Mira tapped coordinates on one screen and swiped across another. Outside, teal beams shot from the ship's wingtip, striking to fighters. Engines sputtered, and the craft spun out of control before crashing into the dunes. The remaining fighters surged forward. Their guns opened fire, bright bolts crackling across the viewport. The ship shook as at least one hit the hull. Mira's vision blurred with adrenaline. The AI spoke calmly. Enemy hull breach detected. I recommend evacuation of non-personnel. Mira clenched her jaw. No, keep shields up and return fire. Push them back. Turrets on both wings rotated. With mechanical precision, they tracked the fighters. Burst after burst of energy tore through the storm, blasting another fighter. One pilot ejected, his suit flaring as he parachuted down. Jonas exhaled. They're retreating. Myra nodded, though her hands shook. Good, but they'll be back. With reinforcements. She stared at the viewport. The last fighter twisted away into the storm. Behind it, through swirling sand, she saw the distant lights of the outpost, a cluster of tall spires and domes, shining like stars amid the dust. This warship could reach it in seconds. Myra turned to her AI console. Shut down weapons for now. We don't want friendly fire. Weapons disarmed, the AI replied. Silence fell, broken only by the hum of the engines and the hiss of the shields. Mira felt a strange weight in her chest. She had unlocked the ship's fury and now she must guide it. AI, she said. Voice softer, show me the ship's historical logs. Screens lit up with text and images, ancient battle maps, star charts, and frozen portraits of officers swirled across. One image showed the warship in its prime, black hull gleaming under twin suns. A crew of hundreds manned the deck, their uniforms crisp and proud. Amira leaned in. This ship fought in the Galactic Rebellion. It was the flagship of Admiral. Can your ancestor? Myra whispered. My great-grandmother. The AI continued. Battle of Orpheon Prime. Last recorded engagement. Ship lost in hyperspace charge. Projected destruction, but data corrupted. Jonas frowned. So it never died. It was lost, but not destroyed. The holographic image shifted to schematics of the ship's core. Myra studied a glowing orb at the center. The AI explained, this reactor uses biosynthetic fusion. It bonds with a pilot's DNA to enhance performance. Mira pressed her hand to the console glass. That's why it woke for me. The AI's voice echoed, correct. Pilot DNA recognized. Command functions restored. Outside, the outpost's defense ships rose to intercept. Small craft darted toward them. The outpost's guns cranked into position. Mira watched beams of green energy streak by. AI she said, prepare defensive posture, but do not fire unless fired upon. Acknowledged, the AI replied. The warship coasted closer to the outpost, shields glowing a pale blue. From the viewport, humans in silver suits stood on landing platforms, rifles raised. They did not yet fire. Jonas placed a hand on Mira's shoulder. This is our chance to make peace. Mira drew a deep breath. AI hailed the outpost. Send a message. I am Commander Myra Kane of the warship Talon. I seek parley, not war. The AI nodded, its panels flashing in response. A moment later, a voice crackled through the ship's speakers, carrying across the landing pad. This is Commander Kane. I mean no harm. I ask for safe docking and discussion. Seconds passed. Then a uniformed officer's voice replied, Commander Kane, this is Outpost 7. We see your ship and your weapons. We will meet you. Set landing coordinates. Mira exhaled, relief washing over her. She turned to Jonas and Amira. Let's bring her home. As the warship descended toward the landing platforms, its massive wings casting long shadows across the dust, Mira knew everything had changed. The desert find had become a living legend, war machine reborn under a human hand, and now the galaxy would watch what came next. Asterisk, the hunted Maul Chen paced the command deck of Outpost 7. Eyes fixed on the holoday's play, red icons marked the path of a massive warship cutting through defense grids like a blade through cloth. Reports flickered across the screen. Outpost supply ships destroyed, a mining convoy shattered, and civilian transports in ruins. Chen slammed his fist on the rail. They have no chance, until I saw those damage reports. His voice echoed in the silent room. Lieutenant Suri stood by his side, jaw tight. Sir, the warship Talon moves too fast for our fighters. Our craft cannot match its speed or firepower. She tapped her datapad. If we send everything we have, we still lose more ships than we can afford. Across the galaxy, the Talon glided beyond the Martin cluster, its shields shimmering under a distant sun. Inside the bridge, Mira and her team watched the holomap of nearby settlements. Mira frowned. We came here to help, not hunt. Salvage hunters attacked us first, Jonas replied, arms folded. His eyes were dark with fatigue. They fired on our crew. We had to defend ourselves. Amira studied the map. We lost lives. They will try again. Mira nodded grimly. Then we must stop them before more die. Back at the outpost, Chen issued orders. Scramble every interceptor. Arm plasma cannons. I want volleys at the Talon's engines. Disable, don't destroy. His calm tone hid his anger. Use hit-and-run tactics. Keep distance. On the landing bay, fighters roared. Into the sky. Sleek, silver hulls gleamed as they charged through the dust storm stirred by their engines. Pilots gripped their controls, faces set. They had heard tales of a fearsome warship, but none had faced it yet. Moments later, the fighters formed a loose ring around Talon's path. The warship's turrets rotated, tracking each craft. Mira watched through the viewport. Her finger hovered near the weapon's control, but she did not relent. Hold your fire until they open fire, she told the AI. Below, the interceptors lunged forward in waves. Plasma bolts arced toward Talon. Some struck the shields, rippling the energy field. Others exploded against the hull with sparks and chunks of metal. Talon rocked, but did not falter. Shields at 70%. The AI announced. Jonas tapped a screen. They're probing for weakness. They will try again. Soon, Mira closed her eyes for a heartbeat. AI lock on to the largest craft in the ring. Fire an EMP volley. A soft hum built along the wingtip. Then 3 teal beams shot out, each striking a fighter's engine section. The enemy craft stuttered mid-flight, systems failing. One by one, the pilots ejected. Their suits glowed as they drifted down toward the dunes. Good, Myra said. Now tell them to stand down. The AI projected a message across the fighters' comm channels. This is Commander Myra Kane. Leave this sector or face total destruction. No more lives need to be lost. Silence followed. The surviving fighters banked away, retreating into the storm. Their plasma trails faded as they vanished beyond sensor range. Mira let out a breath she did not know she held. I hope they listen. Across the desert, Chen watched the fighters' signal fade. He gripped the controls. There. Backing off. For now. He turned to Sori. Send a squadron after them. We cannot let them escape. At the edge of sensor range, 2 Rogar Industries frigates emerged. Their guns opened fire on the retreating fighters, tearing them apart. Chen's brow furrowed. They will do anything for salvage. Back on the Talon, the bridge filled with tension. Amira pointed to her console. Incoming frigates, 2 large ships, heavy armor. Jonas frowned. We can't spare plasma for that. They outgun us at range. Mira tapped her chin. AI, prepare evasive maneuvers. Plot a course through the canyon system. Keep shields up. The warship banked sharply. Outside, canyons loomed, like stone fingers rising from the sand. The frigates followed, guns blazing. Plasma bolts ricocheted off cliff faces, sending rock shards flying. The sand filled the narrow canyon floor, swirling under thrust awash. The Talon's engines flared as it twisted between cliffs. Its shields shimmered under constant fire. The frigates had to slow to navigate the tight passages. Mira saw her. Chance AI, deploy chaff and flare countermeasures, she ordered. Small drones ejected from hidden bays, swirling around the frigates. Their heat signatures jammed targeting sensors. The enemy guns went wide. Now, Myra said, charge. The forward cannon. The AI spoke. Forward cannon, ready in 10 seconds. Mira tapped her foot. Fire at maximum yield. A massive energy bolt streaked down the canyon, its glow white-hot. It struck the lead frigate, cutting through its side like a knife. Hull breached, its reactor core flared. The ship spun and exploded, sending debris into the air. The second frigate reversed thrust and fled the canyon mouth, its engines stuttering under damage. Myra exhaled. That should slow them down. Amira placed a hand on Myra's shoulder. You saved us. Myra shook her head. We saved each other. Across the sky, a distant cloud of dust marked the path of Chen's fighters as they engaged. The fleeing foes. Chen watched through sensors, not knowing his allies were inside the Talon. He muttered, these battles. There is more at stake than salvage. In the canyon's deep shadows, the Talon's hull glowed faintly. Mira studied the holomap again. The capital city of Arcturus Prime lay ahead her, thriving world of steel towers and crowded streets. The warship's combat path led straight toward it. Jonas cleared his throat. Commander, your message to the outpost commander. I seek to protect, not destroy. How do we prove that? Mira's gaze hardened. We show them mercy. We stop the next threat. She tapped coordinates. AI set trajectory for Arcturus Prime. Prepare to land in the capital's orbital station. Ordered, the AI replied. Shields reconfigured for atmospheric entry. Thrusters shifted. The ship's hum grew softer as it moved out of the canyon into open air. Myra looked at her team. Each face was set with purpose. We will face fear with hope, she said. We fight so others can live. Below them, Arcturus Prime's lights shimmered against the night sky. The warship's shadow passed over endless city blocks. On the ground, alarms blared as citizens looked up. The Talons. Main gun glowed ominous red. Mira swallowed. AI, do not power the main gun until I give the order. Acknowledged, the AI said, as the ship descended toward the orbital station, its massive form blotting out the stars. Mira knew the next moments would define her command and the fate of millions below. Asterisk, the human spark mirror stood on the command deck of the Talon as it drifted into orbit above Arcturus Prime below. The planet's light spread like a web of stars. Civilian alarms echoed through the ship's coms. She felt the weight of every life under her command. Her first officer, Jonas, leaned close. We hold above the capital's station. They await our next move. Mira nodded, heart steadying. We must prove we come in peace. She turned to the AI console, its panels glowing softly. AI open secure channel to Governor Reyes of Arcturus Prime. A calm chime rang. On the main screen, a stern woman in a white uniform appeared. Governor Reyes. Her eyes widened at the sight of the massive warship. Commander Kane, she said, voice wavering, you have the floor. Myra took a breath. Governor Regis, I am Mira Kane. This ship once wreaked havoc in the galaxy, but I stand before you not as a threat. I ask for safe docking and a chance to help your people. My warship's weapons are offline by my order. Reyes's frown softened. You speak with honesty, but how can I trust a war machine built for violence? Myra glanced at her team. Amira pressed a button and opened the weapons bay doors. Outside the viewport, the Talon's turrets slowly rotated outward but did not arm. The city's defense ships held position. See, Mira said, we stand unarmed. Let us prove our goodwill. Below, white docking arms extended toward them. The Talon moved into the station's embrace. Hydraulic seals hissed as crew from the station began boarding. Heavy boots echoed in the docking corridor. Mira led Jonas and Amira down the ramp into a glowing chamber. Station officers in blue uniforms waited, rifles slung but history in their eyes. Governor Reyes stood at the center. "Commander Reyes," said, voice low, "welcome aboard." Myra inclined her head. "Thank you, Governor. My team and I wish to help. We saw your city's shield generator flicker during the storm below. We can assist in repairs." Reyes exchanged a glance with her engineers. "Yes, the generator's core is unstable. We face collapse in hours." Mira squared her shoulders. "Then let us go now." They moved through narrow corridors to the power dome. Engineers and soldiers followed. The Talon's engines thrummed above them, a distant heartbeat. The dome gates opened to reveal a vast chamber, cracked walls, and a reactor core glowing erratically. Sparks flew from shattered conduits. An engineer shouted, "We can't hold it much longer." Mira surveyed the damage. The Talon's AI emitted a soft tone. "Commander, Warship diagnostic suggests compatibility with your reactor's biosynthetic controls. I can link to restore stability." Reyes's eyes widened. "You mean the ship can fix our core?" Mira nodded. "If you allow it." She turned to the AI. "Do it." The AI's panels lit bright blue. A hatch in the floor slid open, revealing a ladder. Jonas and two engineers climbed down into a maintenance pit. The AI projected holographic instructions, guiding hands to reconnect circuits. Sparks flew as biosynthetic fibers wove into the city's old framework. On the station's upper level, Myra and Reyes watched the core's glow change from unstable red to steady green. The reactor's hum softened. A cheer rose from the engineers. Reyes turned to Myra, relief washing her features. "You saved us." Myra smiled. "We do our best." Moments later, alarms sounded on the Talon. The AI's voice came clear. "Unknown vessel approaching at high speed." Myra's smile faded. She grabbed her wrist console. Details. Jets of black metal tore through the station's outer shields. A heavy cruiser belonging to Rogar Industries had arrived. Its guns were locked on the Talon. Reyes's eyes filled with fear. "They came for salvage, for your ship." Mira nodded. "They will destroy everything to take the Talon." She tapped her console. "AI, prepare full defensive posture. Shields, maximum. Weapons, non-lethal." The Talon's bay doors opened across the chamber walls. The cruiser's plasma cannons fired. Bolts sizzled through the station, ripping concrete. And Metal Mira yelled, "Everyone take cover." She and Reyes dived behind a thick pillar as the floor trembled. Dust rained down. Engineers pressed tools into walls, trying to finish repairs. Through a window, Mira saw the Talon's wings flare. As the AI took command, the ship pivoted outside the station, placing itself between the cruiser and the dome. Plasma bolts smashed into its shields, which glowed a fierce blue. Down below, the AI's voice spoke calm. "Commander, may I engage full weapons?" Mira closed her eyes. She thought of the crew, the city, the reactor now restored. Yes, for their sake. Outside, the Talon opened its hidden turrets. Instead of lethal beam weapons, the ship unleashed powerful electromagnetic pulses. The cruiser's systems hiccuped. Engines sputtered. Weapons powered down. The ship glided, dead in space. A smaller salvage craft dove toward the Talon. Its hull was dented and scorched, but its pilot seemed determined. A lone shuttle broke. Away, heading straight for the station, likely to ram. Myra shouted, AI, intercept the shuttle. The Talon's forward guns glowed orange. They fired net-like filaments, snaring the shuttle. It slowed, dropping into space, unmanned inside the station. Silence fell. Myra stood, wiping sweat from her brow. Reyes approached. You held back until you had no choice. You protected us. Mira exhaled. I protect all life. But the first command, a warship. I will not let it hurt innocence. Reyes placed a hand on Mira's shoulder. You have our gratitude and our trust. Mira looked at the AI console. Its lights pulsed gently. She pressed a button. AI, power down weapons. Return to standby. Weapons. Offline, the AI confirmed. The bay doors across the station walls closed. The Talon resumed orbit, silent guard above them. Mira turned to Reyes. Your people are safe. We will link this ship to your defenses, so no enemy can harm you. Reyes nodded, tears in her eyes. And we will honor your word. Mira felt a spark of warmth. She had awakened the greatest war machine in the galaxy. She could have unleashed it without mercy. Instead, she chose mercy, showing that humanity's greatest strength was its compassion. Above. The Talon's silhouette passed across the stations. Lights, the AI's glow shone like a beacon. A living promise that a warship need not be a weapon. It could be a protector.